All right, so I just realized that first 2 minutes, I wasn't saying jack. At least no one could hear it. Forgot to add myself to the stream there. But anyway, the someone asked me to keep this up, and I ended up. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? I ended up deleting this, so I don't even have it to put back up. So I decided to just do it again and run through this thing one more time. This thing is a little aggravating, and last time I was a little fired up when I did this. But I figure since insomnia is kicking my ass today, I may as well do something fairly productive and try to get through this. So I don't know. Let's start playing. Oh, and since I wasn't audible when I explained this last time, if you cancel your trial period to this YouTube TV, which, like I said, is a ripoff, man. They want $65 a month for this crap. If you cancel your free trial period, which is 5 days, when you cancel it, they cancel you, man. They kick you out, man. You don't get the whole 5 days, so just keep that in mind. I should have still had 2 more days on this thing. I had to re-sign up with another account just to get the the trial over again. So that's fun. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna run through this again. See, have some fun with this. I know last time, man, I was a little fired up. This time I'll try to be a little more patient with some of this crap. But once again, this is a little frustrating. And if I can get my stuff situated. All right, here we go.
This case contains over 22,000 hours.
Oh, shit. I hear an echo. Where am I hearing that echo from? And that was it. All right, let's try it again.
Hours of video, some of which you will see for the first time.
Yep, $64
there's
a month.
an active shooter at New York,
right,
and shots heard from Hooters.
We have reports of active shooters now at Hakkasan and New York. I have not confirmed that.
Also getting reports that shots are being fired at MGM as well. Shots fired at MGM. We now have reported an active shooter at the Tropicana.
Emergency traffic. Shots fired in the Tropicana.
We're getting people evacuating out of the Excalibur, reporting that there's a fire in there. Chief Blackburn's receiving reports of shots fired in the Planet Hollywood, and I see strobes going off inside.
All right, well, hold on. Let me go a little further.
But Chief Blackburn just came in here. He's reporting shots fired at Caesar.
So, what's up? Who the hell is Chief Blackburn? And why are we... I don't know. I don't remember hearing this before. Chief Blackburn. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know why they're using this in the framing. Did a lot of Tropicana there. Shots fired at Excalibur. I believe New York. They're showing some of this stuff. We've seen all this before. Nothing new. Again, I'm going to break this up because for copyright purposes, I'm going to be talking over a lot of this and pausing it.
Be advised, we are currently receiving reports of an active shooter at McCarran Airport. Repeat, active shooter at McCarran Airport.
We're getting reports of hostages being held currently in New York.
Be advised.
That one I actually love because that one I know where it came from, man. It came from a 911 call where people were saying they're being held hostage by the police in New York. That was actually entertaining.
Guys, we're getting reports on the 34th floor of Mandalay Bay. There's been an explosion in the 32nd, 33rd, and 34th floor on fire.
This must be the attack that everybody's been waiting for.
All right, just a heads up. The beginning of this is kind of bullshit. I've watched this before. This they're just gonna frame Vegas as what Vegas is.
Vegas is always.
Anytime I see CNN under anybody's name, I think, man, you should be ashamed of that. That should not be a fucking title you're proud of. In fact, I would tell them to leave that shit out, personally. But anyways, so this is one of the talking heads. We're going to be helping us narrate this fucking mess.
Always happening.
Drinking, gambling, all the vices that could be had are had right here.
Las Vegas is sort of an anything goes.
Another CNN talking head. Yeah. CNN, not a fan of CNN at all.
Type city, whether it's daytime or nighttime, it doesn't really matter. The nightlife, the nonstop party, people coming from all over the world to be a part of the action.
We're looking at some of the largest hotel casinos in the world. They're here in Las Vegas.
40 million plus visitors to our city every year.
Any particular property may have 100,000 people in and out one day.
One person who was no stranger to the glitz and glamour of Vegas, 64-year-old Steve.
Now, I did a live stream tonight. Well, in the morning, wee hours of the morning. And I'm sure none of you probably saw it. I mean, very few did. But, and I deleted that shit. I nuked it. So you're never going to see it. But does that look like a 64-year-old man? No. And it's not. So I posed this question earlier, man. How many people out there, if you're standing right next to Patty, if this guy was still alive and you're standing next to him, would you even recognize him? How many people would recognize him? Right? That's not what he looks like these days. That's not what he would look like if he were still around. Anyway, moving on.
Even Patty.
He's a regular here. He's what they call a high roller.
Okay, so Randy Sutton here. The name's semi-familiar. I don't know if we have him in any of the reports or not. One of the other guys we're going to see later, we do, and I actually found where he was. He was doing some of the interviews. This guy here, I'm not too sure of. Not too sure if he was even retired at the time that it happened or whatever. But he's another guy we're going to have narrating this.
Roller, which means he gambles and pisses away a lot of money.
By all accounts, he was fairly well off financially.
College graduate, smart with numbers, an accountant.
All right, Jerry McDonald. Now, unless I'm wrong, Jerry McDonald did some of the interviews in some of the releases that we have. So he was a cop at the time that this all went down. From my understanding, I'd have to go back and look, but there was a McDonald that was in those reports.
Worked for such companies as the IRS and Lockheed Martin.
He's a rich guy. He's a millionaire.
He would dive into a habit, 100%.
And this is what I mean, right? We got these crappy photos. Like, this is a driver's license photo, man. No one takes a good driver's license photo. And I don't even know when this was taken. Like, how many years ago? I know, here in California, I believe you take a driver's license photo. Is it every 20 years, 10 years? I don't even remember last time I took one. But they always look fucking terrible. And for me, that's by design, because usually I dye my hair some stupid color before I go in there. But yeah, so I always thought it was interesting. We don't have a lot of photos of this guy. Anyways, let's move on. Not talking about that right now.
Among Paddock's habits, traveling the world, the Mediterranean, Bahamas, Dubai. At one point, he even owned his own airplane.
Ooh, he owned his own plane. Ooh, like they framed this in the most ridiculous way, and I'm glad I stopped on this this image right here. They framed this in the most ridiculous, stupid. Okay, before they framed this in a ridiculous way, man. You know, they're saying, "Oh, he liked to travel, and he even owned his own plane." Ooh, well, he's not traveling to Dubai in that plane. He's not Amelia fucking Earhart here, so that's stupid. And this dude, man, that's a fabulous picture of him right here. This fucking guy. That's an amazing shot right there. I'm proud of that one. I'm glad I paused right on that. This fucking moron, you know. At the point when he did that interview that I believe it was Truth Seeker put it on her channel. At that point, man, I stopped taking anything this idiot says seriously. This guy's just a fucking clown at this point. Just straight up ridiculous. Who cares what this guy's got to say? Anyways, well, let's listen to him ramble a little bit.
He got rid of it because he got tired of it. He went on to taking cruises.
But one of his favorite hobbies, gambling.
He lived the life of the high roller.
Casinos are fighting.
Nobody's ever heard me talk about this guy before. This guy's kind of, oh man, am I lagging? Looks like I'm lagging. All right, so this right here, this guy, Steve Sear, is kind of a legend in Vegas, man. He's Larry Flint's casino host, and actually an interesting character, man. Get a chance, look him up. He's actually a very interesting character. This here is kind of pointless. What they're showing right here, the framing behind this garbage, is fucking pointless. We never heard, which, you know, this reminds me, we never heard from Paddock's casino host for the stay he was taking at the Mandalay Bay. If he used a host for that trip, which I'm guessing he did, most likely he did. Hosts get you a lot more stuff than if you don't use them. And he talked about in the report we have him burning his host at Caesars, I believe it is. So we have in the report we have statements from his Wynn host, I believe 2 different Wynn hosts, and the Caesars host they used. And he burned the comp on that one, pissed off that host, and you know, I don't think he's invited back to Caesars at that point. But we don't hear anything about Mandalay Bay. Anyways, they're throwing this garbage in here. This is an old episode. I watched this on YouTube before. You know, this Steve Sear guy is a little bit older now than he looks in this little thing that they're showing. It says 2010, right? So, yeah, he's a bit older.
Steve, here we are in the presidential high roller suite at the Hard Rock. This spectacle to my left are the lovely ladies in jacuzzi. 2 more playing the 10-pin bowling. Is this kind of normal for this suite, would you say?
Definitely. It's a standard operating procedure at the Hard Rock. Oh, yeah, I knew his name.
Stephen Paddock was well known at some of Vegas's nicest properties, like the luxurious Wynn Hotel and Casino.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. You guys are going to love this, man, because I'm going to stop a lot. The Wynn Hotel and Casino, man. Wynn Hotel. Why the hell did they bring that up, man? Trying to curse here. Trying not to go off like I did last time. Why did they bring this up, man? Why did they focus in on this casino? Right now, I understand, you know, Wynn and pissed off the MGM at some point, you know, Steve Wynn with that interview. But why is HLN, which is a subsidiary or whatever of CNN, you know, pushing this, right? What is the point in that? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I explained this during the when I went over the commercial for this. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, man. It's kind of a dick move, man. It's actually a very dick move, man. When we're talking about a shooting in Vegas and they emphasize the win like this, that's just not right. Anyways, let's go.
But one of his favorites, the Mandalay Bay.
It is a beautiful, massive, Vegas-like hotel.
Which is where he checks in on September 25th, 2017.
This is Las Vegas, so there is a lot of video in any hotel, in any casino.
There's cameras everywhere.
You see him checking in at the VIP.
Okay, so there's cameras everywhere. And they're going to show us the same old footage that we've seen. Ridiculous.
Desk.
You're not waiting in any line, okay? He doesn't wait in line at the front desk. He goes to a private VIP room.
Paddock checks in to one of the hotel's suites on the 32nd floor.
It was known as the hotel's Vista Suite.
All right. Glad I caught that. Why did they blur this out? Why did they blur this out? This isn't even the same room. Why did they blur out that the alcove to the right there? And whatever's on that table, I'm guessing just a stupid vase or something like that. Why did they blur this out? What is the point behind that? I just don't understand that.
On the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay. This room was stunning. He's got a bar, he's got a living room, he's got this incredible view of the Strip. This is a place that you could stay for a while if you wanted to. It's kind of like having your own penthouse, really, in Vegas. This is the kind of room that they reserve for their big gamblers and also for anyone who's willing to put down a lot of coin for a hotel room like this.
After checking in, Paddock drives up to the Mandalay Bay, and a bellman loads his luggage. Paddock asks to be taken up to his room using the freight elevators so he can stay with his bags. Something the bellman says.
All right, so technically he's not asking to be taken to his room. He's just following his bags to the room. But yeah, whatever.
Isn't uncommon.
Oh, and there's that Four Seasons elevator there. Yeah, that was some controversy at one point.
And for VIP guests.
You treat a high roller like you treat a high roller.
So this fucking guy, this lieutenant, whatever the fuck, he's going to be Captain Obvious through this whole thing. You know, with stupid statements like that. You treat a high roller like you treat a high roller. That brilliant, absolutely brilliant. This guy should write books and shit.
Owned 2 homes.
He had homes in the Vegas area, so he didn't even need to stay in the hotels. It's almost like he just enjoyed the perks.
So these idiots don't seem like they even know what the hell they're talking about, right? 2 hotels in the, or two houses in the Vegas area, man. First of all, those houses were fairly cheap. Last I checked, those houses weren't really that expensive of houses. They're not like mansions or anything like that. And one is an hour away, and that's a close one. The other one's up in Reno, and I forget that it's like a 5-hour drive or some crazy shit like that. So, no, he doesn't have houses technically in the area.
Over the next few days, surveillance captures Stephen Paddock coming and going.
He's seen gambling.
You see him going to a convenience store.
Now, just heads up, I didn't find that convenience store thing right there, wherever that was.
He's seen walking around the casino.
Based on what I was able to see that he played a specific game at Mandalay Bay in the high limit room that was available only.
So this, yes, that is the high limit room. That's the doors right in the front. But that's not the same machine we see him gambling at later. But I know exactly what those are.
There.
Paddock's game of choice, video poker.
Hey, he's talking to a guy there. Who do you think he's talking to? A casino host or something? Oh.
For video poker, huge player.
By the way, those machines are gone. Those had spin poker on them. Those are now Ultimate X Poker, I believe they're called. The machines are in those spots.
Doubt about it. At just the hit of a button, he could bet a couple thousand a spin.
This guy was betting $1 million a day. He was playing at levels that qualified him as, in most people's terminology, a whale. That pretty
$1 million a day, and I don't know how this guy knows that. I don't understand that, but whatever.
much meant that whatever he wanted, he could get. From the outside, the guy had a great life. Anybody who wanted to live the casino dream, he was doing it. Someone like Stephen Paddock was a bona fide high roller.
He loved to gamble. It was a job that was fun because people were nice to him. People kissed your ass. Girls brought him drinks. They served him big shrimp. I mean,
big shrimp.
He liked to gamble. They put him up in fancy hotel rooms. He liked gambling because it's fun.
At times, Stephen Paddock gambles throughout the night.
I thought he also said it was like a job to him. Don't you usually hate your job?
Not returning to his room until the early hours of the morning.
Almost everyone I talked to said he didn't talk much and he just wasn't friendly.
Kept to himself.
Not a majorly social guy, but he did have his girlfriend.
A girlfriend.
All right, so who's social at that age, right? What do you expect? You know, I'm not a very social guy, man. I'm nothing like this clown. What do they expect? You know, he gets in an elevator with this little person here, man. If he starts talking to that person, he's a fucking creep. He's not social. So I don't know what they expect by social. And I think that's pretty irrelevant. I really don't care. That's stupid, man. I think most people at that age probably are pretty antisocial. Most people, you know, that's nothing. So let's talk about Mary Lou a little bit here.
Named Mary Lou Danley.
They had been dating for a while.
She wasn't with him on this particular trip.
She was in the Philippines.
A trip Paddock had booked for her and given her $150,000 to spend.
All right. So he booked the trip for her. That's what they're saying. How do they know that? I have no fucking idea. Gave her $150,000. Did he, though? Did he? I mean, we have the evidence saying there was a wire transfer to the Philippines. It never said anything about Mary Lou Danley in that report. And so yeah, that's something. They're making up a lot of stuff. I mean, they're talking about a lot of stuff that is not actually in the report. So I'm kind of skeptical when it comes to CNN.
He doesn't just have his own room, but he rents the room next door, which is an adjoining room. He rents that under his girlfriend's name. So he's got an even larger expanse among this hotel.
Little weird, okay? Some people with a lot of money are a little weird.
He was always alone.
Some people without money are
machine, just
weird.
him. Didn't want a cocktail waitress around him. Just a weird dude.
He wasn't looking for friends. He was there to do a job and to play and drink, I guess.
He was a winner at gambling.
Play and drink. So according to Steve Wynn, he doesn't drink, like ever. But according to this professional gambler or whatever, he is a drinker, I guess. So I don't know where he's getting his information. I don't know where any of these fools are getting their information, honestly. Except it's Jerry McDonald, because I believe he was actually doing some of the interviews from this event.
And oftentimes a loser as well.
Over the span of 6 days, Paddock.
All right. So now we finally get something new, something that we haven't really seen before. These are supposedly his totals. These are his wins and losses. That's true. Eric did. You're right. Eric did say he drank. All right. So again, this is something new, fairly new. So last time I went through this, I went through these numbers with the report. As far as the report goes, yeah, we can put him gambling every single one of these days except for the 30th. The 30th where he came up 40 grand. There's nothing in the report saying that he gambled that day. Every other day, yes, he gambled. The one on the 28th, he started gambling about 11 o'clock that night, so that makes sense. That coincides. And they didn't stop gambling until like 5 in the morning, I believe. So he would have, about an hour to lose 7 grand, and he'd have about 5 hours to lose 125 grand, which, whew, that's some big money there, man. He was definitely on a losing streak in this thing because he only came up. I think they say in this how much money he
You see him coming in and out over several days with lots and lots of bags.
Every day, this man is showing up at this hotel with more luggage.
I just never take CNN talking heads or anybody from CNN seriously, so I really don't care what those girls got to say at all, period. Why am I on the screen now? What the hell happened here? I'm not trying to be famous here. I think StreamYard's getting mad at me. All right, so anyway, let's continue.
Stephen Paddock checks into the Mandalay Bay on September 25th, 2017. He has 5 bags with him. He's got 4 that are put onto a luggage cart, and he's wheeling the other bag. The next day, you see him with 6 suitcases. They are also put on the luggage cart, and he's wheeling a 7th suitcase. On the night of the 28th, you see Stephen Paddock again driving up to the Mandalay Bay. He is loading up 2 rolling suitcases, and he's got with him a laptop bag as well.
She didn't mention the ice chest. How can you not mention the ice chest? How did you just glance over that? Did she even look at this footage? How do you miss the ice chest? Of all things, he brought a freaking ice chest into the room. That's crazy. Anyway.
Then on the 30th of September, it's early morning. Stephen Paddock arrives again to the Mandalay Bay. This time he has 4 suitcases. Later that afternoon, you see.
And those things look pretty light from the way he was just tossing them around. That didn't look like much was in there.
Stephen Paddock going to retrieve his car from the valet. And then you see Stephen Paddock bring in 2 more.
Those look heavy. Those look like they may be heavy. He's got his arms behind him. Looks like he's pulling some weight there.
Suitcases.
That was on 30th.
On October 1st at 12:30 p.m., Paddock is seen entering.
Those look fairly light also. They actually look like the ones he brought in a couple days before that.
The Mandalay Bay for the last time, with 2 rolling bags and another smaller bag, before taking the elevator back up to his room.
He locked the doors and then waited till 10:06 p.m. to put his plan into action.
I'm Chris Cuomo. Let's get after it.
Yeah.
Do you believe the president should take one for the workers?
I never said there was no collusion between the campaign.
Yes,
I
you
have no idea.
Cuomo Prime Time, weeknights at 9 Eastern on CNN.
I'd have to.
Burnett, Cooper, Cuomo, Lemon, the best prime.
There. That gets rid of it. for a minute. Let's wait until these commercials are over. There's actually going to be quite a few of these damn things. And CNN. Yeah, I figured if those bags were heavier, man, he'd struggle a little bit, dude. They would, he'd be dragging them behind him like he was, at one point he was dragging them a little bit behind and in one of those deals there, but nah, the two of those. So he brought in 2 suitcases, looked pretty light. Next day they show him bringing in 2 suitcases. Those look kind of heavy because that's when he was coming out of the self-park garage, and which is interesting, right? So he goes to valet. Those bags aren't very heavy. Goes to the self-park garage. Those bags fucking heavy. Comes back through the valet again. Those bags don't look that heavy. Yeah, there was, yeah. We'll get into that eventually, but not today. All right, let's put this back on because the commercials are over. I can't believe, man, they want $65 for this crap. $65 a month, man. These idiots show commercials. What's wrong with that? That's not right. Okay, let's see. I gotta go back into this.
And the final day of the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival, with 22,000 people in attendance.
People are there. They're having a blast. They're coming.
All right. This pisses me off. This really pisses me off. And this is where I kind of went off last time. I kind of went fucking ballistic. What they're showing right here, what they're doing is they're framing the festival, right? At this point in this, whatever the shit you want to call this thing. They're framing this festival. They're telling you what this festival entails, what it is. They're giving you an idea of the festival. What they're actually doing right here is they're showing pictures of the victims from that night. They're showing pictures because I have all these pictures. These are the pictures that are kind of public domain as far as the people who died that night. Right. So that's kind of messed up. What they're doing here is really messed up. And this is why I kind of, just said, fuck these people. I'm just going to, do this. This is not right. They're not even going to tell you who these people are. They're not going to give you their names. At the end of this thing, they do have a list of the names of all the people who died that night, all 58 victims. But right here, they're not telling you who these people are. But that's exactly what they're doing. They're using the victims in this setting right here. And they're not actually telling you they're victims. They're not going to tell you they're victims. It's just we know this because it's what we know. So they show people, having the time of their life. Like I said, having a blast. And they're showing these pictures of all these people smiling. Well, what they're not saying is these people are no longer on this earth. That's fucked up. That's extremely fucked up. And these little assholes were too lazy to go out and find actual pictures of the Route 91 Festival being a fun, happy time. So instead what they did is they took the pictures they could find. They went the lazy route. They figured they probably don't have to pay these people anything for royalties or any of that kind of bullshit for they don't have to buy these photos from these people, right? Because these are all over the damn internet. They're everywhere. So that's not right. That's messed up. I don't like what they're doing here. And I agree. This documentary is bullshit. But they're going to have some new footage that we haven't seen before this. Let's see. So
with friends, they're coming with family, they're coming from really all over the country.
It was just an amazing crowd of people.
The festival is taking place just across the street from the Mandalay Bay. one of Las Vegas's largest hotels and casinos. It's where Stephen Paddock, one of the hotel's biggest spenders, has been staying and gambling for days.
Because it's Vegas, and because Vegas is cameras, there's a lot of video of Stephen Paddock.
But the last time you see Stephen Paddock is around 12:30 p.m. that Sunday, returning to his hotel suite on the...
See, one of those bags looks kind of heavy. Maybe, possibly. The other one doesn't at all.
32nd floor.
It's all built
Maybe that was the bag with the vibrators.
up to this final performance by Jason Aldean. This is the moment that people have waited for.
New footage. New footage.
We had so much fun.
I just remember enjoying it. I mean, for a few songs.
We were having the time of our lives until it literally changed in seconds.
Jason Aldean came on and he started to sing a song. And I heard a couple of...
I'm not sure if this is footage we've seen before or not.
Pops.
I'm thinking, who's lighting off fireworks right now? This is really weird.
Fireworks, yeah.
And I thought, that's odd, they put fireworks in the middle.
We're thinking, who's the ass that's, you know, throwing firecrackers?
But then he continued to sing.
Upstairs at the Mandalay Bay, as he makes his rounds, hotel security guard Jesus Campos has discovered the emergency stairwell door on the 32nd floor screwed shut.
All right. So, not really accurate there. I mean, I guess you could say screws are like bolts in a way, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm reading your comment here. Nah, they're pretty much level. There's a little bit of a speed bump there, but they're pretty much level as far as those elevator doors go.
And then he starts walking up the hallway.
312. Hey, there's shots fired at 32-135.
And one of the fragmented rounds that went through the door actually hit Security Officer Campos in his leg.
Oh, poor Campos.
And then it was bang, 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 bang.
Pop, 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 pop.
It just kept coming.
I'll never forget this. He took his guitar and he kind of cupped it underneath his armpit. And he started running off the stage.
To see him like run off stage and then.
Well, at least he saved the guitar, right? Didn't really give a shit about his fans, I guess, but saved the guitar. Now, some of this footage of the crowd that it's coming up is new stuff that we haven't seen. They actually have footage coming up of the venue footage. Right, so that's coming up.
Slowly put two and two together.
I remember looking up and thinking, oh my God, those aren't fireworks.
I didn't think it would be gunshots.
And I remember going like this and saying, oh my God, I just got shot. The next thing I knew, I was already on the ground, face down.
And then she just didn't move. And
1698 means we got shots fired. 4:15 a.m. Route 291 sounded like an automatic firearm.
We just started running.
It was just mad chaos.
It was thousands of people running and screaming.
Just
All right. So you guys see that? That's footage we haven't seen yet. And unfortunately, I mean, there's got to be more of it, but we don't have it. I don't know where these guys got it, but that's the footage we haven't got. And according to LVSA, I've talked to him about this. I think he was in here talking last time about it. He actually tried to get that footage. He put a FOIA request in. They didn't give that to him. But apparently they got it. At least CNN's got it. But and this was a discussion we had last time about this. I believe, I would be willing to say, and I can't prove this one way or the other, but I'd be willing to say that my guess is they're holding on to this footage because someday there may be a payday behind this footage. Why are they going to give it up to, a bunch of numbnuts like us when they're not going to get anything out of it, where they could hold on to this and maybe someday this incident will become relevant once again. And at that point, they could shop it to the highest bidder. But what do I know?
just felt like a real life nightmare.
911 emergency. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
Yes, we have an active shooter in Las Vegas, the Route 91 festival. You need SWAT here now. It's an active shooter with an AK. That's the festival. It's the huge country festival in the middle of Las Vegas.
Got it. Okay.
Shooter with an automatic rifle.
People are looking around, and not only they're looking for cover, but they're trying to figure out where the fire is coming from.
And there was mass confusion. Bullets are raining down from where?
I don't know.
So there, put him as the founder of the Wounded Blue. All right, so wounded police officers, I'm guessing.
I don't know where they're coming from.
I just laid on the ground. I was pulling on people's pant legs, like, get down, get down.
All right, so this guy here, I said this, said it a few times now. Where's he flipping off? Mandalay Bay, right? Why would he be doing that, facing the Mandalay Bay, to the Mandalay Bay, if that's not where the fire was coming from? All right, anyway, moving on.
Think about this. The microphones were still hot. So every time a bullet whizzed by, you could hear that. And it was amplified to the crowd because of all the microphones that were on that stage.
The sounds of like whizzing, like just blowing by us.
All right, so I believe this is more footage. Actually, no, we have this. But I think we have this in black and white.
You didn't know where it was coming from.
At the Mandalay Bay, on the 32nd floor, maintenance has arrived to look at the locked stairwell door.
As he's walking up the hallway, he sees Jesus Campos. He sees him kind of ducking in one of the alcoves, and Campos is telling him, hey, get down. More rounds, I believe, up that hallway towards them.
I believe. Catch that? I believe, yeah. Not very sure of himself, considering 3 years later.
Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway. Copy. Hey, it's on 32. I'm down. I got shot. All right, stop. Wait. All right, move. We got taxi. Go. Go on, move. Down. Lucy, where's yours? My back arm, my right arm. All right. Give me my back. Go for America, got an officer shot. Mandalay Bay northbound, right outside Route 91, south end.
People were running. They were screaming.
They didn't know what to do. We were running.
No blood, huh? Plenty of blood there.
Along, and someone yells, "Get in here!" That's a refrigerator truck, big, like semi type thing.
We see this man standing there waving us in. And he said, "Come on, get in, get in."
I grabbed my phone and I went to make a video.
See what's going on out there. We're in this ice cooler right now.
This dude looked so much different that night. I mean, he was pretty slick right here, man. He looked a lot different. And that girl in the back right there, is that the other girl we got in this interview? Kind of looks like her.
Just explaining where I'm at, and what this could be.
It's okay. Some sort of shooting or something at Jason Aldean.
Metro was getting 911 calls by the hundreds. Calls were coming in from everywhere.
All right, so he's a little off, right? Hundreds? By the hundreds? 7,000? Yeah.
911 emergency.
Hello?
FS0, do you need police, fire, or medical?
Hello?
They still don't have the shooter yet.
I need medical, and I'm an off-duty LAPD officer. I was at the concert in Las Vegas.
Okay, I have two patients in stable condition with gunshot wounds. We're literally in the middle of the airport. They shut down the airport. We're in the middle of the runway. Where are you?
Oh, I'm at home. My daughter just called me.
Medical, we have a man that's shot in the head. We need now. He's been here for an hour.
Where are you at?
Tropicana 248.
And my daughter is at the Luxor Hotel. I heard on a rumor on the TV that there may be a bomb at the Luxor Hotel.
What's going on? I need to know the situation. I'm pregnant. I'm freaking out.
I need somebody at the Tropicana right now. He's shot in the head. I need somebody here now.
Sir.
I'm at the Tropicana.
Okay, I understand, sir.
Please come. Just come, please.
It was like, what just happened? You know, like what just went on here?
New footage. You guys see that? Muzzle blast. Let's rewind that real quick.
Tropicana right now. He's shot in the head. I need somebody here now.
Sir.
I'm at the Tropicana.
Okay, I understand, sir.
Please come. Just come, please.
It was like, what just happened? You know, like what just went on here?
Holy Christ.
All right. So we got footage of the muzzle blast. Not sure where that came from, where these people got that, but yeah, it's pretty conclusive there. So I guess that's new footage we got. So that's interesting. Let's see what we got. Also, I believe some of this footage was put out, I believe, by Turber at some point. I believe somebody recorded this looking at a television, watching this episode, and recorded some of this stuff. So, yeah, it's not like this is brand fucking new, but nevertheless, this is where he got all this stuff from. There's also a shot at the tanks we'll see later that I think Turber also posted up. And like I said, this is where he got it from. It was kind of a, looked like somebody just took video of their television set when he posted it. So if you're interested in that footage, this is it.
Let's make sure we notify hospitals.
My name is Deborah Cools. I'm a trauma surgeon. There was a radio announcement that there was an active shooter. We got information that first we might receive 5 to 10 patients, and then it was 10 to 20 patients, and then it was 50 to 100 or more.
Go ahead, put them all in the back. Okay.
Most people came in without any family members, and many people were just thrown into the back of a pickup truck and brought in. Families honestly didn't know if their loved ones were alive or dead.
They didn't even know where to start looking.
They're going to be taking them to UMC, okay?
For people who were at the concert, it was also difficult to find your loved ones.
Right now. When Mary 22, I'm at the UMC with a...
Yeah, and see, I think that's actually new footage with the guys throwing the stuff out of the wheelbarrow. I believe that's fairly new.
Female with a gunshot wound in the head. We're gonna be okay. You're breathing with me. You're breathing with me. Yes, man. It's not here, man. It's not here. Hold on. You're into the hole. All right. Get her out. Get her out.
We went from 0 to 20 patients in 5 minutes. The first group of patients were typically shot in the head, the neck, the chest, or the abdomen. Injuries everywhere, really. Among our first patients in were patients who arrived dead.
All right, once again, no blood, right? I just went over this video, last week or whatever, and I was of the assumption, I assumed this person didn't make it, that this person died in the back of that patrol car and then was brought in the hospital deceased. And my lovely moderator straightened me out on that real fast, man. That is actually not, that person actually survived. That person survived the night. She pointed out some articles, and yeah, it honestly looks like that person actually did live through this. I was wrong about that. So for the last week, I've been trying to figure out who that is that died over there at UMC, and I'm actually wrong about that.
It was eerily quiet that night. People who have experience caring for injured patients, they're in a lot of pain physically, so they will be expressing that they're in pain, they'll be screaming, they'll be crying. But that night, all the patients were silent.
But what police find back at the Mandalay Bay
Breach. In with you.
leaves them speechless.
I love how they framed it so the cops are charging down the hallway. Yeah. During the breach. That didn't happen.
Burnett, Cooper.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me get this off of here. Sorry, I'd rather you guys look at my ugly face than subject you to this garbage. Yeah, we don't need to look at Chris Cuomo's face on something like this. Who cares? Propaganda. That's all that networks become at this point. And yeah, just not interested. All right, here we go. Commercials are over. Can't believe, dude. $65 a month, man. You're paying for commercials. That's ridiculous. That's insane. What a freaking ripoff.
Information of an active shooter at Mandalay Bay. It looks like it'll be in reference to the Route 91 festival.
And I don't think that was even the Route 91 festival. Not the little girl pumping her fist in the air. I don't think it's Route 91.
Shots fired from Mandalay Bay. There's many people down. Stage left. Just be advised.
31.
Two officers from the Las Vegas Metro PD, along with two armed Mandalay Bay security guards, arrive on the 31st floor at 10:11 p.m. 6 minutes into the shooting.
Right here, 60th floor. North. Oh, the Mandalay Bay coming out a window. Rapid fire. Right outside, we're 32135, right above us. Right above us. There a unit down. 14. You may push. Stay in your room. Stay in your room. Stay in your room. I'm inside the Mandalay Bay on the 31st floor. I can hear the automatic fire floor on that. 31st floor above us. We can hear it above us.
Copy. Is there a unit now? Just be advised, it is automatic fire. Fully automatic fire from an elevated position. Control, we need all units stop coming.
We know where it's at. The 32nd floor, room 135.
The officers and...
All right. So I could bash and slam Hendricks and Varson, but, you know, really the point is, yeah, you can hear the gunfire. You can hear it one floor below. Sorry, but that throws the LRAD there right out the freaking window. Those are directional. Doesn't work that way. You know, and this guy decides to get in an alcove and fucking hide. As he's saying, we know where it's at. It's one floor above us, you know, and this guy, he don't want to go up there, man. He does not want to go up there. He's, I guess, he's bringing a knife to a gunfight at this point, but still, that was pretty sad. That was a sad showing.
Security guards were still on the 31st floor when the gunfire stopped at 10:16 p.m. One of those officers describes being terrified with fear.
There were 4 armed people directly underneath Paddock on the 31st floor, directly underneath his room. It could have done something. What that something is, or what it should have been, who knows? What would I have done? Who knows?
According to the Mandalay Bay security guard, the group then stayed in the stairwell to make sure the shooter couldn't escape down the stairs.
Well, he couldn't escape, right? There's a damn bracket on that door. You guys are some of the safest people in that hotel at that point. Anyways, with everything going on right now, defund the police, right? Defund the police. Good luck with that. Have fun stopping these guys. Get some counselors up there. Yeah, have fun.
On October 1st, 2017, at approximately 10:05, 10:06 p.m., my phone starts to receive some text messages from a couple of my detectives that work for me, saying that they had information that there was a shooting, an active shooter possibly, down at the Route 91 concert venue, which was across the street from Mandalay Bay. I just immediately got dressed, threw on a hat, kissed my wife goodbye, and started rolling that way. I turned the radio on in my police car, and you started listening to a lot of the radio traffic. There were calls coming in of maybe active shooters in other locations, other hotels. It was just completely chaotic.
I have reports that there's an active shooter at New York, and shots heard from Hooters.
We have reports of active shooters now at Hakkasan and New York. I have not confirmed that.
Also getting reports that shots are being fired at MGM as well. Shots fired at MGM. We now have reported an active shooter at the Tropicana, active shooter at the Tropicana.
Explosions and fires.
All right, so I'm not sure the time frame on that. The way these people are framing a lot of this stuff, they're taking a lot of things out of sequence, out of order. But this is a pretty good map that they did up, man. It's they did a pretty good job with that.
At multiple properties.
We're getting people evacuating out of the Excalibur, reporting that there's a fire in there. Chief Blackburn's receiving reports of shots fired in the Planet Hollywood, and I see strobes going off inside of the Mandalay. But Chief Blackburn just came in here. He's reporting shots fired at Caesars now.
Be advised, we are currently receiving reports of an active shooter at McCarran Airport. Repeat, active shooter at McCarran Airport.
We're getting reports of hostages being held currently at New York, New York.
Be advised, we're getting reports on the 30.
Okay, I see what they're doing now with the New York thing. They're trying to talk about how chaotic it was and how conflicting messages were coming through, and they're trying to downplay the fact that there were calls all over the strip as active shooters all over the strip. That's what they're doing. So, yeah, I get it. But that call from New York, that was somebody saying that they were being held hostage, I believe, by the police.
The fourth floor of Mandalay Bay. There has been an explosion, and the 32nd, 33rd, and 34th floor are on fire.
99.9% of them were all unfounded.
The original thought was,
you hear that? 99.9% were unfounded. That means 0.1% were justified. Is that what we're saying here? That there's some truth to one of these calls, at least? No.
this must be the attack that everybody's been waiting for.
It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced in my career or felt.
It's a bad situation.
You can train and train and train, but you never know how you're going to react to it until that moment actually comes.
Again, Captain Obvious here. Yeah. May as well say CNN correspondent underneath his name there.
And then, that's the moment of truth.
Police, come here, Ed.
There are people on that floor. There are people in the hotel not knowing exactly what is going on.
Metro Police, get up, sir. Get up.
Shooting, sir. I need you to get up, and I need you to get dressed. You understand?
Get up and get dressed for us.
Come on. I don't care if you're naked. Just get some clothes on. Quickly.
I can't even imagine to be in your bed asleep and then have someone barge in to tell you you've got to get out, and you having no clue what is going on.
Run this way. Keep your hands up. Run. Keep running. Somebody pick you up. All the way to the end.
No.
Did you hear gunshots? I did. Lots of them. It's like hundreds.
When they get to the hallway, officers see this room service cart and they see wires, and they lead into one of the hotel rooms.
Let's see. Yeah, that's footage we got. They did a good job of pushing up the contrast and the lighting on these images.
Watch for booby traps. There's a car right in front of the room. We're not sure what that hotel cart is booby trapped or not. It's been there the whole time.
And they did a good job of isolating voices, I guess. Because when I listen to these, I can't hear what they're saying. You know, any of this stuff here. And I'm pretty sure I listened to this.
Somebody was saying it might be like a gas cart too. It's a food cart for sure, but we don't know.
What if those wires lead to explosives behind this hotel room door?
And what if they lead to a vibrator? Yeah. Thanks, Obvious.
Officers are about to finally find out what's behind the doors to room 32, 135.
Dun, dun, dun.
None of my guys, to include me, probably thought that we were walking into the crime scene of the largest mass casualty shooting in the history of this country.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'm Chris Cuomo.
Man.
Let's get after it.
Chris
Do you believe
Cuomo.
the president should take one for the word? I never said there was.
Yeah. No reason to watch Cuomo at all. Not interested in Cuomo. Campos. All right, let's just wait for the commercials in here. There we go.
There's one right outside the door in the stairwell, just FYI.
Breach. You ready?
Of course, they're jumping around here because this is not the actual breach right here.
Okay, cover on that. In with you.
When officers are finally able to enter Stephen Paddock's suite on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay, they discover all manner of things.
It was a little shocking, to be honest with you. As soon as you walk into that crime scene, you see
like the contrast on this is pretty amazing. Like these photos look a lot better than what we see in the report.
guns, long guns, AR-10s, AR-15s, guns on tripods. They're everywhere throughout the room.
We got one suspect down, 419 inside.
You see him on the ground with a GSW to his head, the firearm that he took.
All right. Sorry, I just wanted to pause it right here. Yeah, so we got clips in this bag. All right.
His own life with was just laying on the ground just above his head.
I counted 13 long guns.
Most suspects will have a gun, maybe two. This guy had 19 guns in the main room.
All right. So the picture of those guns, I don't think we've seen those before. I don't think these are the pictures from the, what was that? The, the ATF report that came out. I don't think these are the pictures from that. And they got the clips underneath them. Not too sure what the deal is with that, because I think a couple of these. Oh yeah, okay. They got the ones without the clips. They got the 10s without the clips.
And they had another 5 guns in the connecting room.
I see a guy switching guns, not reloading. Switching guns, but not reloading.
The chairs that had been pushed together and guns inside of that.
The other room over here, they have bags somewhere. We go take a look at it.
There are bags, there are gas masks.
I don't know what this venting system is.
Gas mask. Again. What the fuck? I mean, this chick really doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And again, we've always said, why no gas mask? Why no gas mask? Hey, what's up? But here she is saying, he had guns, he had gas masks. No, he didn't. He had a scuba mask. They're focusing in on a scuba diving mask, but no gas mask. Again, these CNN idiots have no idea what they're talking about. I guess they're kind of used to that at this point. They just say whatever the hell they want to say, and whether it's true or not doesn't really matter.
He took the mouthpiece from a snorkel and kind of fastened it to this blue tube.
I don't know if he was expecting like gas or something.
I can only imagine how the room had filled up with smoke and gases from all the gunfire.
You remember one window
So they isolated that, right? Get rid of that conspiracy. There's a broken window over there to the right of the door or something like that. All right.
There was a large broken window in each room that he was firing through down to the venue site. There was glass debris all over the place.
Those windows are thick.
And in that picture, the tripod was not over his leg. All right, just want to remember that.
He used a small sledgehammer to break open the windows. It takes a lot of force to do that.
Does it though? Takes a lot of force? Really? You tried that before? You do that test?
You put cameras up.
And I believe that's like the gambling expert or whatever. So. Yeah.
Up on the peepholes and all that. That's what these wires are.
He had...
Not on his shoes. What? What do you expect? do you really expect like for him to have a bunch of glass like sticking out of his shoes? I think his glass is like a little thicker than that too. So it's not like breaking a window pane in your house. It's thick stuff. Anyway, all right, let's go.
Small cameras installed on the backside of the doors connected to the people, all running to laptops.
We get a pretty decent view of the laptop here. Actually, now that I look at it, this is the one I think they're about to show in the next little slide here, which I don't think we've seen yet. Yeah, personally, I don't expect glass to be embedded in the bottom of his shoes. Not with that stuff. I think this glass is fairly thick. I mean, I've stayed there, and yeah, the windows, those are thick pane glass. They're not like I said, they're not like your window pane. They're not even like your car windows. They're like really thick stuff, man. Not bulletproof or nothing, but they're really thick stuff. So, you know, it's not really thin sheets of glass. I don't expect anything to be lodged into his shoes. Personally, I don't.
He has an intricate camera system
All right, well, there's a view of the computer.
set up.
He was running basically his own.
All right, so last time I thought this was a people cam. I'm wrong. This is the one inside of 134. I haven't seen this before. So this is that's some dirty food there, man. I think I would clean that up. So this is the view down the hallway. Let's see, this would have been the camera on top of the cart. But yeah, I guess it could still be on top of the cart here. I guess. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Own type of surveillance.
So he knew when officers were coming down the hallway.
There's a whole suitcase full of loaded AK mags.
There were.
I don't remember seeing this picture. I mean, you probably count the clips that are in here and all that good stuff. I believe in the report they say these are 40-round clips. Not completely sure. But yeah, these are the the camera. I don't think the camera was actually on the floor in that one. Let me see. Let me go back. Let me see if I can
of the doors
line it up. I don't
connected to the people,
remember.
all running to laptops.
Okay, so there it is. There's the camera.
System set up.
He was running basically.
All right, so here we got that view. To me, it looks like it's right underneath the side thing on the molding or whatever in the middle of the hallway. That stuff looks like it's probably about 2.5 feet up. So that looks like where the camera's sitting, right underneath that. About a little over 2 feet up.
His own type of surveillance.
So he knew when officers were coming down the hallway.
There's a whole suitcase full of loaded AK mags.
There were 5,000 unspent rounds in that room, on top of the almost 1,050 rounds that he actually fired.
See, a lot of these, I think, are just the regular photos that we have out of the report. And I think they've just highlighted them.
Fired.
One wallet.
Is there a note? Did he write something on that?
The one note that was found in this hotel suite, there's a note with calculations.
Was it though? I mean, to my knowledge, I believe the second line is a calculation, right? I believe it's like, what is it? 500 feet is a 5-inch drop. I believe that actually lined up. Me and JV were going over this a while back, and I believe that's the only line that we can make out that actually makes any sense. The top thing, 2,000 yards, it looks like, or 200F. whatever that means. 30D or 300. That don't make a lot of sense to me. I can never figure out what that means. Last line, 1,000 equals 50 feet. If you got a 50-foot drop on your gun at what you're shooting, you may as well not even bother. It's not going to happen. So a lot of this never made a whole lot of sense. Yeah, they did. They got good Photoshop people at CNN apparently. See, so like the second one makes sense. Second one totally makes sense from my memory of going over this note. Top one, no idea what that is. Does not look like any kind of drop to me. The last line doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Because there's no 50-foot drop. There's, what's 50 feet away from his room? Maybe is it 50 feet high? No, because that would be 5 floors. That makes zero sense. Makes absolutely zero sense. That third line there. No one's ever figured that out. A lot of people haven't even bothered trying. So when they say these are calculations, one of them is. The rest, not even sure what they are.
Calculations for trajectories of where the bullets would go.
We have this contained. There's no need for anybody else up here. If there's other situations going on, then let's address those. Inside the festival grounds, items still remain, along with the bodies of 31 concert goers.
It was a war zone.
No blood, right?
That's what I've been told. War zone.
If you've never been to Las Vegas, the airport is really close to the Strip. And the airport was especially close to this venue.
Separating the Route 91 festival grounds from the airport, fuel tanks.
I think we were probably 24 hours in or so, and somebody had observed the fact that there was black soot up near the top of one of the fuel tanks.
Investigators soon realized Paddock fired 8 rounds at the fuel tanks from his room at the Mandalay Bay. Some of it caught on dash cam.
All right, keep an eye on this one. They show a bullet striking the tank right here. Again, I think there's some Turbers spit out on his fucking channel, but this is where that came from.
Video.
It's not TV. You don't shoot the gas tank and it blows up. But he tried. And think of the terror that would have been.
He probably thought if he fired at one of those tanks, it could maybe explode it. He was intent on just causing as much destruction and harm as he could upon people in that area.
This just into
CNN figures they use their own damn news footage. But to their credit, they later go back and use CBS and some other channel. I don't even know.
To CNN, police in Las Vegas are investigating reports of an active shooter near the Mandalay Bay casino on the Strip.
When you wake up in the morning and realize that there has been a shooting, and, we're starting to hear numbers. 2 people are dead.
Mass shooting event.
Route 91 harvest.
When those numbers started creeping up from the single numbers to double digits,
ABC.
and all of a sudden you're in the 30s, and you're in the 40s, and you're in the 50s, you begin to realize the magnitude and the size of the event.
Honestly, man, I didn't have a good look at the tanks from when I stayed over there. But I'm going to say this. Things are a lot closer than they look on these cameras, man. They make these things look pretty damn far away. And that venue was extremely close. When you're actually there sitting in that room, it's, actually, I was on the roof. I was up there on the top in the foundation room, looking down on the venue itself, man. And that venue is extremely close. So those tanks probably looked pretty damn big from where he was at. I don't know, though. I don't know that for sure because I wasn't looking at the tanks. I was looking at the venue. I don't think I had a sight line of the tanks that day.
Back in the Philippines, the news is how Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou, has learned of what happened.
Was it though? Are we taking certain liberties with that? Because to my knowledge, I thought she deleted her Facebook short midnight, right? So this shooting was barely a couple hours old, man. I don't know. I don't know if the news footage at that point. Before she deleted all that Facebook stuff, that she knew that this had happened, that he was the culprit, that he was at fault. Did she maybe get a call around midnight from the FBI saying, hey, your boyfriend just shot up a country concert, prompting her to delete that Facebook? I don't know if she found out by the news. I kind of don't believe that, to be honest with you. I don't know if that news is going to travel that fast all the way over there to the Philippines. I don't know. I mean, the press conference wasn't until 1 o'clock or something like that, right? I may be wrong. I may be completely wrong on all this stuff because I never really kept up with her Facebook and when she deleted all that stuff. But, I don't know.
As she makes her way back to the United States, she and others close to Paddock have no idea what police are about to discover.
Okay, what was that shit? What was that? Right? So they're insinuating, by their shitty reporting here, they're insinuating that she heard about this that night and jumped on a plane and came right back to the United States as they were breaching his room. What? And then we got this crappy ass picture. Again, if Stephen Paddock were alive and you saw him in line in the grocery store in front of you, would you recognize him from this crap? And this picture here, to me, doesn't look anything like the younger picture of him, of course, because he's younger and all that sort of stuff. Doesn't look like, doesn't look a lot like him. Yeah, it could possibly be the same person. I'm not trying to go crazy conspiracy here, but I don't know. These pictures look a little bit different to me. Yeah, she knew he was paranoid. But come on, seriously. The way they're framing this doesn't make any sense, right? Because they just said, the way they just said that, if you listen to it, and words matter, but the way they just said that is, she found out by the news, and as she was on her way back to the United States, she would never realize what the police were about to discover. Right? Now we're going to find out what the police were about to discover as she just jumped her ass on a plane, right after finding out. And now she's on her way back to the United States, I guess. I don't remember how many days it took her to get back to the U.S. because I don't think it was the next day. I don't think so. But yeah, the way they're framing this is stupid.
Not have always focused on just the Route 91 Harvest Festival.
Oh,
Burnett,
man.
Cooper,
Come on.
Cuomo, Lemon. The best primetime lineup is only on.
Really, you want me to pay $65 for this crap? That's ridiculous. You guys are fucking crazy. That's insane. I guess they don't make enough money off of YouTube stuff. Oh man, it's still playing? No, it's not playing. Okay, here we go.
Information of shots fired at the Mandalay Bay.
We see muzzle flaps in the Mandalay Bay.
Yes, we have a active shooter. Update on the active shooter at Mandalay Bay. Looks like we have multiple subjects that are down.
This way. Go. That way. He's still going on 32. Take me to 32.
Inside Stephen Paddock's hotel suite,
They're ready. Move. Okay, they're coming out.
Okay, remember, at this point, according to this stupid reporting, after we've already watched the breach once, and this is where conspiracies come from. This is why this is just ridiculous. This is like their version of a conspiracy. That's what they're feeding into with this stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Because they've already breached this son of a bitch. And Mary Lou's already found out about this by watching the news, but now here we are about to watch the breach. They frame this in a totally ridiculous manner. It makes no sense. This whole episode is
self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Oh, never mind. That's the second breach. That's the second breach. All right, I was wrong about that.
the digital evidence is on.
All right, give me a second. Catch up here. All right, looks like I'm back. Yeah, am I back? I'm back. All right. Anyways, I was wrong. That was the second breach, right? So sometime, the way they're framing this, sometime between the first breach and the second breach, Mary Lou Danley had just found out about the shooting, knew it was her boyfriend, and jumped on a plane. Now she's back to the United States. Between the first and the second breach makes perfect sense. Yeah, totally believable. Yeah, I believe it. Here's another thing. This computer, right? Always kind of wonder what was going on with that computer when we saw the yellow strip across it in the reports. If that's the same picture, man, they did a hell of a job. They did a hell of a job bringing that picture out because, man, I tried all kinds of stuff with just a regular iPad, iPhone. Also, you can see the tape over the peephole on that one. With all that sort of stuff. And I think, I can't tell if that's a Dell or, we were always under the impression, me and Hunter were talking about this, that this was, I believe, the Asus or Acer. I forget. He had one of those, one of those companies, branded computers. But yeah, so here we see what looks to me like it's probably taking a picture of possibly the countertop with the floor behind it. So the upper left would be the floor, the lower right would be the countertop. I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of what it looks like to me. It looks like I've got a trash icon up there, but I could be completely wrong, and this could be his desktop, his wallpaper on this thing. But if that's his wallpaper, that is a strange freaking wallpaper to have up. That is just bizarre. And that's not what the computer looked like when they actually barged into the room, when they blew the door off and came in the room. The computer did not have this image up there. That's not what it looked like. So this must be sometime after, all the evidence stuff was going on.
Almost
Sorry about this. It's my let's see. Just trying to see what I can see here. Yeah, my internet's been screwing around. But all right, so ANRAM monitor. Looks like a couple key cards, 2 of them. In the background, we got the possibly a room service menu. All the coffee. They have good coffee there, man. They have some of the best coffee there. And that aerosol can, I believe, is a aerosol fire extinguisher, if I remember right. But not really sure. Never been able to find that brand.
As the physical evidence. Evidence suggesting he may have planned this for quite some time.
What was left behind in his hotel room was his
All right. So there we get a good look at the ANRAM monitor. Not really sure what that's a picture of right there. But that is the ANRAM monitor.
Electronic footprint.
There was a lot of stuff on his computers. There was images of child pornography that were located.
Hundreds of images of child pornography.
All right, so we're going here with the child porn. Yeah.
On his laptop.
His search engines were loaded and filled with outdoor public venues, concerts.
I don't know. I thought CNN didn't talk about the kiddie porn. I thought that was like taboo for them.
In the first couple days of September, the searches become more focused, and they're specifically tailored to Las Vegas. There are searches for the Life is Beautiful music festival. There are searches about luxury high-rise condos. He does searches for the Route 91 Harvest Festival. He does searches for the attendance at these festivals. He does searches for the Mandalay Bay. At one point, he's looking online to find out how tall the Mandalay Bay is. On September...
How about the Child Courts and Service Center? How about the Children's Museum of Las Vegas? Why am I looking at me again, man? What the hell happened here? Why does StreamYard keep doing this? I don't want to see myself. Not for this. But, yeah. What about the Child Courts and Service Center? We're not going to talk about that? We just talked about kiddie porn, but we're not going to talk about something like that? We're not going to talk about the Mob Museum, the Neon Graveyard, the Children's Museum, and like I said, Child Court Service Center. That has always been puzzling to me, more so than this crap.
September 15th, his searches change a little bit. He's looking for information on ballistics, the Las Vegas SWAT team, and, interestingly, do police use explosives?
Did he look up Las Vegas SWAT? And he did not look up, do police use explosives? I believe he looked up, do SWAT use explosives? So, yeah.
Days before Route 91, there was the Life is Beautiful music festival in downtown Las Vegas. Attendance there, 50,000 people a day. That's more than double what we saw at Route 91.
We were able to figure out that Steve Paddock had rented some rooms at the Ogden.
He rented through Airbnb 3 different units over the span.
All right. She's wrong here. From the information I've seen, he rented 5 and alternating days. So I believe he only had 2 at once most of the time. He had 1 that overlapped that I think was, he had 3 rooms in one day. But yeah.
Span of 10 plus days for a building that overlooked that particular festival.
Was his intent to do it there?
Did he get cold feet? We'll never know.
Conspiracy. So CNN, the conspiracy news network, is throwing out another conspiracy. Yeah, that's, I guess, nothing new. Should be used to that by now.
Stephen Paddock was hiding in plain sight.
So whose hand do you shake here? Whose hand do you think he shook? right? He's not a social guy, right? Doesn't like people. The weird dude. But here we are, watching him shake hands with somebody. I mean, is this possibly his casino host? Like, who would walk up to him in a casino and just randomly start talking to him? Because this is an employee, I believe. I believe you can see a name badge on him. All right, so let's see.
55.
Oh, this is just random footage of a gun store.
Firearms were purchased by Stephen Paddock in the year leading up to this.
He did so completely legally. Not one red flag. All.
Angela, if you're looking at the two cards that were between the gun and the NRAM monitor, those are Mandalay Bay key cards. They got a picture of Mandalay Bay on them. That's what they are.
The required paperwork was filled out.
What's the law? There is no law concerning how many guns you can buy in the United States.
The guns that were recovered from his house in Mesquite and up in Reno, they were all stacked in gun safes. And
yeah, he didn't like coffee. I mean, that coffee's amazing. That coffee's really amazing. Love that coffee. I know where it comes from, but it's expensive. It's really expensive.
the magazines were all loaded and set.
So did we ever see this before? I don't know if I've ever seen this image right here of his gun safe. Not sure I've seen this. And yeah, they opened it up, right? Looks like they just didn't have a problem opening it. I don't know. I don't see any damage. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it looks like it lagged out again. But I don't see any damage on these doors. I don't know. I mean, did Mary Lou give them the combination of the safe? I don't know.
In a perfect way, Steve Paddock was.
This I haven't seen before, right? Did he own a storage unit? That's I don't know. Looks like a lot of junk in there. Was this legit his storage unit? And if that's the case, can you imagine the episode of Storage Wars on this one? Wow, that's crazy. But no, I don't know if this is. I mean, the way they're doing everything on this, I have a hard time believing that this is his storage unit as opposed to them just. It says evidence photos. I don't know. That's weird.
Very organized, meticulous. That's who he was.
How does a guy,
as Brian Shields says, it's so weird,
get more than 20 guns up to his room? Brought in methodically, one trip after another, over the course of several days.
How could he have put together this arsenal
CBS
and set it all up without anyone in the hotel noticing?
Show me what he did wrong. Large amount of suitcases. Welcome to the convention capital of the United States. Some people bring in more bags than that. A real threat doesn't sit there and hang around.
Nothing really stood out.
The casinos could have done more to prevent. Are you f***ing kidding me? I mean, he took a sledgehammer, broke out those windows, and then the machine gun people down.
But there's one question that, so far, has gone unanswered.
Everyone's clamoring to find out why. Why did he do this?
The motive. Oh, wait. I think we're going to commercials.
I'm Chris Cuomo.
Yes.
Let's get after it. Do you believe the president should take one?
All right, let's pull that off. Screw that. I don't want to watch that guy's face. Hello. Just doing this one more time. You say you didn't see it last time, so figured I'd play it again. This time I plan on leaving this up. I think I'm going to leave it up this time. All right, we're back.
How hard has this been to wrap your mind around?
Gee, let's think about that question for a minute. A f***ing asteroid just dropped on me. My
This
brother,
fucking
who has
guy.
no history of violence, no history of anything, couldn't give a shit less about politics, religion, pointy-hatted people.
Wait, I thought you're. I don't know, man. This fucking guy. This guy cracks me up.
Etc., etc. He just wanted to get a freaking royal flush. Don't walk.
Does he look like the human embodiment of a chipmunk? Like maybe like Simon when he's old and gray. But yeah, this guy, man, this guy, I can't stand this guy.
In my plans.
How's everyone in the family? I mean, other than the obvious.
We're up. I mean,
So I thought he said they're bad kids. They're bad kids, right? You know, here he's framing his brother as kind of a saint, you know, but they're bad kids. We're bad kids. We had problems. Yeah, whatever. This fucking clown. You think there's a real cry here? This don't look like yeah, he looks like a chipmunk to me, dude. He just does, man. He's got those buck teeth. But you know, the fucking what was his famous line? What was this guy's famous line? I can't even remember what his famous line was. As if the guy's fucking famous for anything. But yeah. You think he's really crying here? You think he's legit right here? Because I mean, let me see. Let's finish this.
I got a 90-year-old mother whose son just killed 50 plus people when now is dead.
Yeah, that looked like such a bogus cry right there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to watch that again, dude. Look at that photo. See, picked it perfectly, right? Isn't that like one of the chipmunks right there? Isn't that what that looks like? Man. Actually, it's side by side. It's kind of uncanny. That's kind of crazy. Just need to shave a little bit off top, and yeah, you'd have it going on.
He just wanted to get a freaking royal flush. Don't walk in my plans.
Don't walk in my plants. That should be his famous saying right there. He should have went on InServe and said that. Don't walk in my plants. That's what you're famous for. That is your claim to fame. That's what you'll be remembered for forever. But yeah. This this seems like total bullshit. This fucking guy. He's got a lot of bruises on an arm. What you been doing, bro? Then what you been doing with those arms?
Anything. Couldn't give a shit less about politics.
Come on, go away. Wow. What have you been doing? I didn't think this guy worked anymore. I thought he was retired, man. Looks like a welder or something with those arms.
Religion, pointy-hatted people, etc., etc.
Man, looks like he's been getting in knife fights or something. Look at this guy. He's all cut up.
He just wanted to get a freaking.
See, look at that bruise. Look at that bruise. What the hell have you been doing?
Royal flush. Don't walk in my plants.
Don't walk in my plants, dude. So he's talking about his brother that just killed himself and killed 58 people, but he's worried about his fucking plants. Classic. This guy's a clown.
How's everyone in the family? I mean, other than the obvious.
We're up. I mean,
that is, I don't know, man. looks like such a fake cry to me. That looks so fake.
I got a 90-year-old mother whose son just killed.
No, I'm not saying that's Paddock, dude. I'm not saying that's Steven Paddock. It's just they do resemble each other a lot, right? They look a lot alike.
Killed 50 plus people when now is dead.
It was 2 months later I woke up. I was shot in the chest, and it went and broke 2 ribs. It punctured my lungs. It blew out the junction where the esophagus meets the stomach.
Oh, buffering? Damn. All right.
Went through my stomach, took out a third of my liver, and went through my spleen. I turned to my husband, and first thing I said to him was, how many? He knew what I meant. And he says, Rosemary, there were 58.
Healing Garden.
58 people were killed. 31 were pronounced dead at the scene. More than 800 people were injured.
They didn't uncover the answer that everybody wants to know. Why?
Maybe, just maybe, he was just trying to one up his dad because his dad was a notorious bank robber back in the day. Certainly.
Conspiracy by a retired cop, one that I believe did interviews for this event, but conspiracy by the police department. Nice.
It would have been nice to take him into custody and ask him why, and then prosecute the hell out of him. We never got.
All right, the gun is not over his leg. It's not over his leg right there.
Chance to do that.
There's a lot of unanswered questions to that night.
There was no suicide note. There was no manifesto.
He killed himself. You know why? Because he might have thought the cops might be too stupid to kill him.
That's another good saying by this guy. He killed himself because he is afraid the cops would be too stupid to kill him. That's dumb.
Being at that shooting, I will never, ever be the same.
I have nightmares at times about the people I ran past.
But when you have an event like this, where literally people are dying in front of you, when you're trying to save the life of another human being and you can't, you watch them slip away. You watch heartbreak on a level that is incomprehensible to most people.
Christ actors, right? Christ actors. They found the one cop that is better than 90% of the crap coming out of Hollywood. They found the greatest crisis actor ever. This guy's amazing. He can cry on cue. This is amazing. Oh my God, where did they find this guy? That's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane.
And it affects you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's the why. That was the big question mark.
I have an opinion that his last screw.
All right, here we go. Conspiracy. Let's hear it.
You to us is you'll never know why.
And again, the picture of when he's like 12 years old or some shit. This is bullshit. This is total bullshit. I guess I don't even really need to explain this. Screw this statement. Yeah, fuck them. This is bullshit. All right, out of respect, I'm gonna play this. Healing Garden. All right, screw the rest of them. Don't care about these people's names. So that's that. That's that. Pretty exciting stuff, right? Oh, wow. I kind of like that setting. All right. Good look at myself a little bit. Yeah, so a couple things. I mean, we got some new stuff there. Got some new footage, I guess. They brightened up a bunch of the pictures. Did some photoshopping on those, so that's good. We can see a little bit more with some of the photos that we got. That, or they may have even gotten they most likely probably got the originals of those photos given to them. A lot of the footage that we haven't seen, again, I don't know why they've been holding that back from. Yeah, I've been to the Healing Garden, yes. That's why I know where that is. I know what that is. I know that spot with the water, leaking down the front of that little thing there. So anyway, so this is, in general, this whole thing is bullshit. Obviously, I mean, it is produced by a CNN company. CNN is pretty fucked up. I mean, all mainstream media at this point is pretty fucked up, but CNN's one of the most egregious of those. So I don't really expect too much out of this. They do have some new footage, and I was gonna say this, Matt. I mean, and again, I can't prove any of this, but LBSA has been, he mentioned last time we watched this that he's been trying to get a lot of this footage. He's actually put FOIA requests for some of this exact footage that they were showing, mainly the the venue footage, because they did have cameras at the actual venue that night, and they've refused to give that to him. I don't know what the excuses were. I haven't seen the actual FOIAs that he got back, the emails he got back, correspondence, whatever. But I'm guessing because this came out, because the Nightline thing came out, I'm guessing that what's going on here is, they're shopping this footage around. They're holding on to it so that they can shop this around for something of this magnitude, something of this nature. If the Las Vegas shooting ever becomes a relevant within mainstream media once again, then they're sitting on a gold mine of footage that they can shop around and send out to those people. So that's always that's kind of my guess as far as why he's not getting some of this footage. I believe that before believing that they're hiding something with some of this footage that they're not showing. I mean, what is it going to show, man? We see this footage from the ground. We see the cops running through the venue. We see all that sort of stuff. We do actually have some footage of overhead of that venue when this was going on. So this is just a zoomed in version of that, I guess. But I don't see a point in them holding it back, other than possibly this is a moneymaker in the future for them. And the fact that they shop this footage to CNN, it tells me it might be something to it. Same thing with the Nightline footage and all that garbage. That tells me there might be something to that, and that's possible. So we did see a little bit of new footage. We saw some those photos highlighted. Looks like better versions of those photos because they don't look as grainy as they do in the report itself. So that's kind of cool to see some of that. I can do without all the fucking talking, to be honest with you, throughout this whole thing. But it sounds like most of these people, other than the two cops, really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's interesting that they frame conspiracies within this, especially towards the end there. That's interesting. It does get me a little heated when I see them using the photos of victims that died that night and putting them out there as in the framework of this thing that we just watched. Them showing the Route 91 festival is a happy place, people having a good time and all that sort of stuff, and then showing the pictures of these people who are deceased now. And I think that is pretty messed up to do something like that, especially when you don't actually, frame it in a way to say, well, these are the people who passed away and these are who they actually are. They never did that. So, that's a little misleading. You came into this not knowing anything, not being part of this community or whatever. And you watch this episode, you would look at that and you would think, oh, these are just pictures of people having a good time at that concert, and you would never imagine that that was, pictures of victims. So that really gets me, that burns my ass. In the beginning, they started attacking Wynn. I don't know why they attacked Wynn Casino. I don't know what CNN has to do or what bone they have to pick with Wynn themselves, because I understand why MGM does, but as far as Wynn goes, now, MGM has studios and all that sort of stuff, right? Is it possible that MGM actually produced this, did this? I mean, I guess I could go through the credits and look and see if I can, figure something out, but I don't care enough to do that. But, for some weird ass reason, they sure went after Wynn in this thing. And it was very subtle, but it was there. I said we saw a couple of interesting, shots of, the gunfire. Saw some of that. We did see the shots coming out of the Mandalay Bay. We saw a bullet hitting the tank. We did see that. So that was interesting. But, other than that, there really isn't all that much here. There really isn't. They're not breaking any ground. They're not saying anything we haven't heard a million times. And again, they knew, well, I don't know if Wynn knew Paddock himself or if he knew of Paddock, right? Because he mentioned that, none of his employees had seen Paddock ever drink alcohol or whatever. The way he framed that was fairly ambiguous. But yeah, he did say he knew of Paddock. It sounded like to me. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that interview as far as that goes. But I don't really care all that much. I mean, the Steve Sear guy says he knew of Paddock, right? So that's interesting. And what I would like to see, is I would like to see something, witness statement, whatever. I like to see a statement of his casino host for the Mandalay Bay that was dealing with him at the Mandalay Bay. My understanding of casino hosts, and again, I'd have to talk to my friends about this because I don't really do that. But my idea of, from what I understand of a casino host is when you go to a Vegas casino, right, and you're a high roller or whatever you happen to be, whatever tier you happen to be on, they're going to give you a free room as long as you're a gambler. They'll give you a free room. But when you go through a host, oh my God, the whole world opens up, right? You can tell them you want to eat dinner at a certain place, man. They'll comp that dinner through the room. And so what'll happen is that host will take care of your room bill. And, so what you do is you go to whatever, as long as you're at a restaurant where they will, because he'll set the reservations for you as well at restaurants. And so your host will, set your reservation. They'll tell you to, put it to the room. At the end of your stay, they'll comp everything off to your room. So you don't have to pay for stuff like that. So the host is definitely a way to go. Otherwise, let's say you're doing the M life like this guy is. If you're not going through a host, you're paying for everything. You're paying for everything. So, and everything comes off your comps, right? So you have a certain amount of points to spend. Depending on how much money you gambled, depending on what you played, all that sort of stuff. You have a certain amount of points that are available for you to spend. And you're racking up those points as you're gambling. This guy probably racked up a lot of points, so I guess it doesn't really matter if he used a host or not. But I'm thinking the way everyone's describing this guy, he probably would have went through a host, so everything would be free. He didn't have to use his comps on room service and things like that, of that nature. Let's see. No, I don't remember him saying he conversed with Paddock, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't remember hearing that. But I do remember him saying something about he talked to his employees. None of his employees had seen Paddock with any alcohol. He never drank even a beer, whatever. However he framed that, I don't remember. But that was my knowledge of Steve Wynn. And my my understanding of the Wynn relationship. Once again, lagging out. All right. Yeah. It's like a slideshow now. No, they didn't take his comps. That's not the way it really works. Yeah, that's not the way it works, man. The comps are built up through gambling, right? He was building them up as he was there, right? So he lost 125 grand. And the way comps work, and I'm not sure, I'm guessing it's this way at MGM as well as at Caesars. In fact, I'm pretty positive it does. Basically, what happens is you bring in 5 grand. You go through that 5 grand, but let's say in the process of that 5 grand, you won about, say, 4 grand. But you threw it all back in. So at the end of the day, you're at zero. And so that now accumulates to $9,000 worth of comps, right? And then those comps, I can't remember the exact dollar base of MGM. I know in Caesars it's a little bit different. But, I believe that Steve Sear guy says the rule of thumb is generally 30% comes back to you. So you spend 9 grand, 30% of that, 3 grand, and that's how much you're going to have in comps, basically. But yeah, he was losing. So, what they showed at the beginning of that video is they showed his wins and losses for that trip, supposedly, since the 25th to the 1st. And his basically he was under, right? He was losing money. He lost, I believe they said, over 40 grand. And you can work out the numbers yourself. You can go back and look all that up and work it out. But yeah, it's something, I guess, around 40 grand that he lost. The interesting thing about that little breakdown that they had is when he won that $40,000, I believe is on the 30th. We don't have him gambling that day as far as the report goes. So that is kind of an issue where he won that 40 grand. It's easy to debunk that and say that, well, the guy could have just thrown, $1,000 into a slot machine as he was passing by through the casino during, one of his trips with bags or something of that nature. But, according to the report, the timeline, he didn't gamble that day. Well, at least it's silent on that. So you'd have to fill in the gaps yourself. You'd have to infer that he was actually gambling that day and they just for some reason did not put it in the report. That's completely possible. I think it's plausible. If this guy like gambling that much, not hard to believe. He fucking went and, threw $1,000 into a machine and just ran through it, and however long, came up 40 grand, and it just kept the 40 grand. That's it's not a hard thing to believe, I guess. But they don't mention it, so that's a problem. Let me think. What else do we see in that thing? I think that's about it. Man. Really, there's not much new in that. And like I said, I think they did a kind of a crappy job of all that. The framing of the Mary Lou stuff was dumb. That didn't make any sense at all whatsoever. As far as Mary Lou goes, like I said, I don't know because I'm not the one who went through all that. I believe Sleep Dep would be someone to ask, and I believe possibly Weg Og would be someone to ask. But and maybe LVSA, I'm not sure. But I've never asked them about this. But what time did Mary Lou delete her Facebook? What time she deleted Facebook? Because at that point, she would have had to have known that she would have had to know what happened, what the deal was here. According to these idiots, man, she saw it on the news. So saw it on the news. So what time would she have seen it on the news? What time did the first reports go out into the Philippines, and did this make it out to the Philippines? Does Philippines have CNN? Do they have American stations and channels out there? I don't fucking know. I don't have an answer to that. But if that's the case, what time was Paddock's name thrown out publicly on the news? That I don't know either, man, because I wasn't paying attention that night. I didn't really hear about a lot of this until the very next day. So, was his name being thrown out in the media at midnight that night in time for her to delete all the stuff? But, regardless of that, this report, what they did here was kind of foolish and made no sense. So they're basically in this report, they were insinuating that the way Mary Lou worked, the way it happened was she found out through the media that Paddock had done this. Apparently she knew it was Paddock that did it. And after she found out that he did it, she jumped on a plane, came back to America. And that was sometime between the first breach and the second breach, which makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know. The Mary Lou stuff has always been interesting. You notice in this article, they barely touched on her in this thing. These people, it looks like from what I'm seeing on this and from watching this, it looks like these people did no actual reporting, no journalism. They did not check anything. They did not fact check anything. They did not go back and interview Mary Lou Danley. They did not interview anybody. This is all the same crap we've seen before. The only thing we got is a couple pieces of footage that was probably supplied by the FBI or the MGM or the police department, right? Or whatsoever. I would expect to see an interview with Campos in the middle of this. I would expect to see an interview with Mary Lou in the middle of this. Sorry for all the buffering, man. There's nothing I can do about it, man. My connection sucks. But, the only interviews we really saw was with his brother. And we'd seen those before. That's nothing new, right? So, what's the point? These people did no actual journalism. It looks like somebody probably read the report, once, because they didn't even get a lot of that right. Somebody read the report and then decided to spit out a fucking show about it. Probably wrote the scripts for these two girls talking about it. And of course, they didn't really talk much about anything. You know, they're the correspondents. But, you know, of course, all they did was say, oh, Vegas is a lovely town. It's a fancy town. You know, and Paddock is so weird. He's such a weird guy. You know, that was Steve Sear, though. And Steve Sear is kind of a badass, man. So if you're ever interested in how Vegas comps and stuff work, you know, he's a good guy to watch. No, they didn't fill anything up, man. They didn't do shit. You know, this whole thing is basically, like I said, somebody read the report and said, okay, let's do a show on this shit. You know, or they have the footage from, you know, back in the day. Maybe they had it just sitting around. So, well, let's use this crap. This series, for those who don't know, so I got 80 in here. This series is supposed to air, I believe, in a couple days here. I believe it's on Thursday. This thing's gonna air. HLN channel, whatever the fuck that is, wherever you're at. So you can watch it there. The way I got this right here that we just watched was YouTube TV. YouTube TV is a giant fucking ripoff. It's $65 a month, which is insane. But, you know, you can do a free trial. It's 5 days. The problem with the free trial, the thing with that is if you don't cancel it, of course, you can get dinged for $65 for a month. But on top of that, if you cancel the trial before the trial period's over, they don't give you all the time, right? So, you know, I canceled my trial 3 days into it. And when I went back to go watch it again, they just killed it, right? So I should have had 2 more days on it. That didn't work out that way. So, you know, I did actually sign up for it again because I did cancel the first time, and I'm going to cancel this time as well. So, you know, if you're going to watch it, yeah, you know, you can sign up for a free trial. Just make sure you cancel that shit after you watch it. Don't cancel it before you watch it because you're not going to watch it then. And they do keep track of it because on my Pointed Stick channel, I can't watch it anymore because, and I can't even sign up for the free trial anymore because when you click on the free trial button, they say they want to charge you $65 to sign up. So that doesn't work. Just a heads up. That's how this thing works. But that is, yeah, that's the HLN special. You know, the only new footage we've gotten in a very long time. And I think LBSA is working on trying to get some of this footage, but we'll see what happens, man. At this point, you know, I don't know if it belongs to this HLN network or whatever. Also, the show's canceled. From what I understand, the show's canceled. They only did this is season 2. This is episode 2, season 2. They only did 4 episodes. Supposedly, they aired them all in one night and then canceled the series, right? So they never finished this this series. And I'm guessing that's probably got to do with what's going on politically with all the anti-cop rhetoric and all the bullshit going on in society. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing since all the cop shows seem to be under fire these days. Anyways, I'm going to let you go on that. I think, you know, I'm good here. This has been going for 2 hours, over 2 hours. So longer than I expected. Anyways, everyone have a good night and stay safe out there in this crazy, fucked up world. And until next time.